We are now going to make a discussion on the Asian Charter on Human Rights. The Association of Southeast Asian Nations was established on 8 August 1967. It originally comprised of 5 member states, namely Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore, and Thailand. ASEAN now includes Brunei Darussalam, Myanmar, Cambodia, Laos, and Vietnam. Its original aims were the acceleration of economic growth, social progress, cultural developments, peace and stability in the region, and to provide a forum for discussion. ASEAN has been criticized in the past for failing to take action or even a position on human rights concerns in and among its member states. But the ASEAN Charter, adopted in Singapore in November 2007, now acknowledges adherence to the principles of democracy, the rule of law, and good governance, respect for and protection of human rights and fundamental freedoms. And these are included among the organization's purpose and principles. The Charter entered into force on 15 December 2008. ASEAN Charter is essentially the constitution of ASEAN. Amongst other things, the ASEAN Charter sets out the guideline principles governing how ASEAN will conduct its affairs, confers legal personality upon ASEAN as a legal entity in its own right, establishes the organs through which the ASEAN will act, and instituted a formal structure for decision making. The ASEAN Charter creates a framework within which ASEAN member states can enter into substantive agreements on specific areas such as economic integration, environmental protection and climate change, equitable development, transnational crime and security. An example of this is the Asian Economic Community Blueprint, which sets out detailed timelines for greater integration of Asian economies. The structure and organs set by the ASEAN Charter will play a critical role in ensuring the success of the blueprint's ambitious target of establishing Asian Economic Community by 2015. In July 2009, the 42nd ASEAN Ministerial Meeting adopted the terms of reference below, so initiating the process of establishing a regional human rights body to be called the Asian Intergovernmental Commission on Human Rights. The Commission was duly launched at the 15th Asian Summit in Thailand in October 2009, and it was expected to meet in December 2009 to finalize a 5-year work plan and set priorities for 2010. The terms of reference stress the principles of non-interference, identify the Commission's functions as essentially consultative and advisory, make no provision for individual complaints, and emphasize that the body is dependent on voluntary funding. Purpose. Pursuant to Article 14 of the ASEAN Charter, the Asian Intergovernmental Commission on Human Rights (AICHR) shall operate in accordance with the following terms of references. Number 1, to promote and protect human rights and fundamental freedoms of the people of ASEAN. Number 2, to uphold the rights of the people of ASEAN to live in peace, dignity, prosperity. Number 3, to contribute to the realization of the purposes of ASEAN as set out in the ASEAN Charter in order to promote stability and harmony in the region, friendship and cooperation among ASEAN member states, as well as the well-being, livelihood, welfare and participation of Asian peoples in the Asian community building process. Number 4, to promote human rights within the regional context, bearing in mind the national and regional peculiarities and mutual respect of different historical, cultural and religious background, and taking into account balance between rights and responsibilities. Number 5, to enhance regional cooperation with a view to complementing national and international efforts of the promotion and protection of human rights. And number 6, to uphold international human rights standards as prescribed by the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the Vienna Declaration, and Program of Action and international human rights instruments to which Asian member states are parties. Principles. The AICHR shall be guided by the following principles. Respect for principles for ASEAN as embodied in Article 2 of the Charter. A. Respect for independence, sovereignty, equality, territorial integrity and national identity of all Asian member states. B. Non-interference in the internal affairs of Asian member states. C. Respect for every member states to lead its national existence free from external interference, subversion and coercion. D. Adherence to the rule of law, good governance, the principles of democracy and constitutional government. E. Respect for fundamental freedoms, the promotion and protection of human rights and the promotion of social justice. F. Upholding the Charter of United Nations and international laws, including international humanitarian laws subscribed by the Asian member states. And G. Respect for different cultures, languages and religions of the peoples of ASEAN while emphasizing their common values in the spirit of unity and diversity. Respect for international human rights principles including universality, individuality, interdependence and interrelatedness of all human rights and fundamental freedoms, as well as impartiality, objectivity, non-selectivity, non-discrimination and avoidance of the double standards and politicization. Recognition that the primary responsibility to promote and protect human rights and fundamental freedoms rests with each member states. Pursuance of constructive and non-confrontational approach and cooperation to enhance promotion and protection of human rights. And 5. Adoption of a revolutionary approach that would contribute to the development of human rights norms and standards in ASEAN. 3. Consultative intergovernmental body. The AICHR is an intergovernmental body, an integral part of the Asian organizational structure. It is a consultative body for mandate and functions. A. To develop strategies for the promotion and protection of human rights and fundamental freedoms to complement the building of the Asian community. B. To develop an Asian Human Rights Declaration with a view to establishing a framework for human rights, cooperation through various Asian conventions, and other instruments dealing with human rights. C. To enhance public awareness of human rights among the peoples of ASEAN through education, research, and dissemination of information. D. To promote capacity building for the effective implementations of international human rights treaty obligations undertaken by ASEAN member states. E. To encourage ASEAN member states to consider acceding to and ratifying international human rights instruments. F. To promote the full implementation of ASEAN instruments related to human rights. G. To provide advisory services and technical assistance on human rights matters to ASEAN secretarial bodies upon request. H. To engage in dialogue and consultation with or other ASEAN bodies and entities associated with ASEAN, including civil society organizations and other stakeholders as provided for in Chapter 5 of the ASEAN Charter. I. To consult, as may be appropriate, with other national, regional, and international institutions and entities concerned with the promotion and protection of human rights. J. To obtain information from ASEAN member states on the promotion and protection of human rights. K. To develop common approaches and positions on human rights and matters of interest to ASEAN. L. To prepare studies on thematic resource of human rights in ASEAN. M. To submit an annual report on its activities or other reports if deemed necessary to the ASEAN Foreign Ministers meetings. And N. To perform any other tasks as may be assigned to it by the ASEAN Foreign Ministers meeting. Responsibilities. A. Each representative in the discharge of his or her duties shall act impartially in accordance with the ASEAN Charter and this TOR. B. Representative shall have the obligation to attend AICHR meeting. If a representative is unable to attend a meeting due to exceptional circumstances, the government concerned shall formally notify the chair of the AICHR of the appointment of a temporary representative with a full mandate of the member states concerned. Relationship with other human rights bodies within ASEAN. A. The AICHR is the overarching human rights institution in ASEAN with overall responsibility for the promotion and protection of human rights in ASEAN. B. The AICHR shall work with all ASEAN sectorial bodies dealing with human rights to expeditiously determine the modalities for their ultimate alignment with the AICHR. To this end, the AICHR shall closely consult, coordinate, and collaborate with such bodies in order to promote synergy and coherence in the ASEAN's promotion and protection of human rights. Role of Secretary General and ASEAN Secretariat. A. The Secretary General of ASEAN may bring relevant issues to the attention of the AICHR in accordance with Article 11.2a and b of the ASEAN Charter. In doing so, the Secretary General of the ASEAN shall concurrently inform the ASEAN foreign ministers of these issues. B. The ASEAN Secretarial shall provide the necessary secretarial support to the AICHR to ensure its effective performance. To facilitate the Secretariat's support to the AICHR, ASEAN member states may, with the concurrence of the Secretary General of ASEAN, second their official to the ASEAN Secretariat. The Asian Charter contains several references to human rights and related concepts. Most importantly, Article 14.1 requires to ASEAN to establish an Asian human rights body so as to conform with the purposes and the principles of the Asian Charter relating to the promotion and protection of human rights and fundamental freedoms. These purposes and principles of the Asian Charter relating to the promotion and protection of human rights and fundamental freedoms can be found in the preamble and Articles 1 and 2 of the Charter. The preamble states that Asian member states adhering to the principles of democracy, rule of law and good governance, respect for and protection of human rights and fundamental freedoms. Article 1 states the purposes of ASEAN, which include ensuring the peoples and the state of ASEAN live in peace with the world at large in a just, democratic and harmonious environment, and also to strengthen democracy, enhance good governance and the rule of law with due regard to the rights and responsibilities of the member states. Article 2 sets out the principles guiding the conduct of ASEAN and its member states, which includes respect for fundamental freedoms, the promotion and protection of human rights, and the promotion of social justice from Asian Charter, and upholding the United Nations Charter and international law, including international humanitarian law, subscribed to by Asian member states. International law is the body of rules governing relations between states as contained in legally binding agreements, treaties and conventions and in customary international law. Customary international law comprises state practices considered by the states to be legally binding. For instance, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights is technically not legally binding, but the principles set out in it are commonly accepted as forming an integral part of international law. It is therefore clear that even though the Asian Charter doesn't explicitly state a body of human rights and fundamental freedoms that are to be applied by the Asian human rights bodies, member states will therefore have to, as part of their obligation under the Asian Charter, comply with the human rights principles explicitly set out in the United Nations Charter as well as international law. Last November 2012, the ASEAN reached a mile with the adoption of the Asian Human Rights Declaration AHRD in Phnom Penh, Cambodia. However, regional and international responses to this development have been lukewarm at best. Drafting process and content of AHRD, the Asian Intergovernmental Commission began drafting the AHRD, but no complete draft were formally circulated. However, some were leaked in 2012 by the AICHR representative from Thailand, Indonesia and Philippines did conduct informal public consultation. Key concerns included the AHRD's principles to balancing human rights and fundamental freedoms with corresponding duties, considering human rights within regional and the national context, subjecting human rights to limitation such as national security and public morality, and specifying that certain basic rights such as the right to life conform to domestic law. The AHRD has highlighted the need for more careful review of how to reconcile Asian human rights agenda and desire to people oriented with principles of consensus and non-interference. The principle of non-interference may also be in tension with the Asian effort to strengthen economic integration and other ties which will increase interdependence. Regarding human rights advocacy, the AHRD experience has revealed that the opinions of other major partners such as the United States and the United States matter. Also, the creation of Asian region of human rights systems has been complemented by the development of more coordinated advocacy across the region within civil society. The drafting process of the AHRD brought civil society groups from all Asian countries together to build network and share expertise on human rights and the member states' international legal obligation. It enabled human rights discourse to penetrate into some of the Asian less accessible society.